Okay, so for today's lesson, we are going to be making our very own quilt. And our project is based on the artwork by the Gee's Bend, Alabama quilters. So the one in our collection that we're based on is a quilt by Lutisha Petway. And if you notice, it's made out of denim. So she made this quilt out of scraps and things that she found around in her home, and it was old work clothes. So, you know, when you wear a pair of jeans so much for work and the knees start getting worn out and you patch them. So in an effort to not waste anything, to use up old materials, she would use those materials to make a quilt. Now the patterns of these quilts were just beautiful and phenomenal. And they didn't follow the traditional quilting classic pattern structures. They were really their own abstract geometric designs. So in our project today, we get to be as creative as we want. So the first thing you'll need for the base of your project is one of these napkins that we sent you, so a square piece of fabric. Then you can look through the different small bits of fabric that we sent you as well in your package, and you can use those. And lastly, I really want you to look around your home and find maybe an old mask. That would be the best. If there's an old mask that you don't wear anymore, something representative of the pandemic that we've been through. So I have this old mask here. It's white, but that's okay, I can use it. So just something that represents something important to you. Maybe it's not a mask, maybe it's an old t-shirt or something that you don't use anymore. Don't cut up your parents' curtains or anything that's still in use, but just something old. So the intention is to take something old and make it new and you repurpose it and use it for your quilt. So for me, it's going to be a mask. These became kind of a symbol of the pandemic, a visual symbol of what we all went through and we had to mask up. So mask would be ideal. Okay, next you have your paper, napkin, and you're going to create a design. It can be any design that you want. This is the beauty of abstract quilts. They don't have to follow a perfect design. As you think about your design, if you want, you can sketch it out on a paper, or you can just work intuitively like I'm going to do. So I have these different materials and I'm going to cut out shapes, geometric shapes. With this one, I'm going to make 2 triangles. So I've cut this into 2 triangles. This one I'm not sure what I'm going to do, maybe triangles as well. This one I cut into 3 rectangles. And I also cut 2 long pieces with this one. Let's see, let's get to work. So these fit nicely across here. Again, the design is geometric and it's abstract. So it's just making shapes that you like and trying them out. So I'm going to try these here. Before you glue them on permanently, it's a good idea to test out your patterns and ideas. So I'm testing this out to see if I like it. Because they're not glued on, I can still move them around. With this piece, I cut out a little flower. I'm having a nature theme in mind. Now with this larger piece, I think I'm gonna leave it a full square right in the middle. No, see, I didn't like that. So again, it's kind of intuitive. I'm gonna move the square down here. I'll put something else in the middle. And I think I'll cut something out of this mask here. I think I'm actually just gonna cut it right in half, because I want you to see the ear loop. So I'm going to place that on top of this piece so that you can see the shape of it. And the other one, maybe I'll put at the top and put this on top of it. Oh, okay, now my piece is coming together. So again, like I said, it's very intuitive, it's abstract, it's your own design. Okay, I've come up with a design that I really like. I've moved it around a little bit, and now I'm ready to glue it on and make it permanent. So I have some glue here, and because this fabric is not for something that's going to go in the wash, it's going to be hung in your house, regular glue is fine. Now, you can feel free to use more pieces. We're sending home in your kits just a base amount, so 2 pieces of fabric and your base. But I really, really encourage you to find stuff around your home that you can use to add to your quilt. Now we're sending glue. If you know how to sew, Feel free to sew these on using a simple stitch. In the past, we've done these quilts with sewing, but it's not easy to teach virtually, so it's something that you can do if you have that skill set already. So who are the Gee's Bend quilters? The Gee's Bend quilters were many African Americans, descendants of slaves. There was a slave plantation on Gee's Bend, Alabama. It's called Gee's Bend because it's where there's a bend in the river. So the bend in the river is where this very, very small, isolated community lived, and they didn't have a lot of access to goods and materials. They didn't have stores like we do, so they had to make do with what they had to create these warm blankets. The blankets and quilts were originally just for that purpose, for keeping warm in the winter. But someone was driving through the area and spotted the quilts drying and thought they were just beautiful and realized the artistic gift. And so these quilts have become part of the tradition of remembering the art forms of many African Americans in Gee's Bend, Alabama. Okay. So this is coming together really nicely. Again, highly encourage you to use your own materials. Extra, add on as much fabric as you can. Okay, once everything's secured on, you can set it to dry. Mine's not quite dry, but I'll hold it up just so you can get an idea of my pattern. Hopefully it's not falling off. Okay. So set it to dry, and once it's completely dry, it can be something that you hang in your home, and then you can admire and it can remind you of whatever memories, whatever fabric that you put into your project. Thanks, guys.